she did everything in her power to come across as this like grown woman, but she's actually just a little girl, as we find out. And I don't know, she's probably still running her mouth. She's probably like me now. It's probably like Zeze Millz on the internet.
Yeah.
Maybe that's exactly what she's doing.
Yeah.
I just admire her.
I think, I think there was a part of us in all the characters, right? So I think, like, for example, Marcus and Naya would have maybe like now they might run into each other at a park or a bar or something, and maybe something would spark up. I'd like to think, because I think they were sweet together. Saw like they wanted to. I think Marcus, and for Marcus, he wanted her to be something that she wasn't quite yet because of age. That was all. But they were a good match.
You meet somebody that you thought was really young or really old, and you meet them like 10 years later, and you're like, oh, actually, we're not that much. We're not actually, the age gap is not that big, but at the time,
spirits are the same. Their spirit is still the same.
Yeah, it feels like it is. Maybe
how old were your characters again?
I think I was 17.
Yeah.
You
were just 18 at the end of season. Season 1.
And how old were you? How old was your character?
I guess Marcus was mid to late 20s.
Obviously, that's like if we met each other at like 25, it'd be different. Yeah,
but especially for Marcus, again, it's like I think he wanted to be more mature and was kind of overcompensating out of everyone, right? But had a younger spirit really, and he's a bit silly, and that's why I think maybe why Naya and Marcus connected, and maybe Marcus now would be like, actually, I don't need to grow up so quick, like, and be so serious and be the corporate man so quick, and maybe that's not me totally, and I can be vulnerable and silly around people, and that's fine. So
yeah, Marcus was always trying to be grown all the time. He always wanted to like wear the suit and have this big job that really didn't exist. Like you were dying to just be recognized for something that you didn't really do.
Yeah.
We got an interesting question in the.
Yeah, I bet you're interested.
No, not the Q&A one. The other one.
It's coming in the question one.
The chat.
Yeah. What was the age difference? Oh, do you think at the time of filming it was socially acceptable for older men to be dating younger women? Would you have changed the script if filming season 1 in 2020?
Good question.
No.
Excuse me, the question was for me, Dani. No, I'm joking. I would say no, because, well, the particular angle that we were shooting at anyway, or creating, was from that Marcus didn't know.
Yeah,
so
that's the comedy.
When he did know, he ended the situation, because it's almost like, I guess to some degree, that he was misled. So, I think in some circumstances that happens, in some circumstances it doesn't. In our particular one, this is what happened. So I don't think I would have changed it in a particular climate in 2020, because it's a strand of things that do happen. And we never came at it from an angle of like perversion like that. So we never do come it from those angles anyway. So even if there was kind of like questions about it, we'd be able to answer it honestly and genuinely. So in answer to that question, we probably would have still done it. But yeah.
We like to be controversial around.
No, not necessarily to be controversial, but it's just something that does happen. But obviously we have to always take into consideration, like, I guess, time and where we are at right now. But again, it's just making sure that the approach is always of like, it's coming from a place of honesty. I'm not necessarily saying truth, because it's not happened to any of us, but it's coming from a place of honesty. So, and yeah, these things do happen.
And I think you probably would have written a conversation about it with everything that's been going on now. I don't think you would have just done exactly how you did it back then. You would have had a conversation, like the boys would have had a conversation about what was going on, and do you know what I mean? So it wouldn't have just been like, that's it. It would have been something that's discussed, because you know people would would say something. And
absolutely, and there's never any never shy or hide away from any of those type of things. Like, you can always have a discussion about that. So yeah. The other Q&A section question is, could there be a spin-off for the women?
Ooh.
Okay.
I swear you said that you thought about it because you were going to call it Sisters with Attitude if you did it or something like that.
I remember that.
I would never have called it Sisters with Attitude.
I swear I remember that.
Someone said it.
I remember Sisters with Attitude.
Sisters with Attitude, you know.
That's what will definitely come up on Twitter. Can you believe that these black
cancelled?
Black women.
I know, right? No, I don't think I would have called it that. Maybe someone else on my team might have mentioned that, but no, I wouldn't have called it Sisters Attitude. Could there be a spin-off? There could be if the girls were available, but then it would take away the essence of the show overall. I feel like the girls have come into their own over the course of the season, and you know, it was about the brothers, and then it just became about game in general. And we've seen Natalie's story arc develop. We've seen Simone's story arc develop. So a spin-off would have to be like from characters who weren't like ingrained in it. So like if we saw, like for instance, like let's say TJ and Nadia's character, that could be a funny spin-off. The barber. But yeah, you guys just want to see a female version of Brothers in the Game, don't you? That's what it is. I know.
Yeah.
Out of the brothers, who had the most game?
In real life, or
good question.
I mean,
I think they mean characters. You guys.
I thought David's character did. No, Solomon's character.
Oh, bro.
Why didn't it take you so long to answer?
Darren.
Yeah, Darren had a lot of
that
game.
was the whole point, innit? My character was introduced to be the only person that has game.
Yeah. This is bad.
All right.
Try school.
He said that with his chest, boy.
He was like,
Try.
I think Marcus had a bit of game. It was just
Marcus did.
I think so as well.
You were just a little bit corny.
Well, he was slimy with it though.
he was slightly corny with it.
Arguably, you could also say that Junior had game because he had two girls fighting. He had like unexpected game.
Yeah.
He just flopped. He fumbled the bag at the end.
I fumbled.
You fumbled the bag. You know what I'm saying?
Junior.
But I would say that technically he kind of had game because he had two girls fighting over him, right?
Yeah. Dorian and Junior, if I was a female, I'd say they had it most together. Like, I think they had their lives kind of together, and they were thinking for themselves. Where I think Theo and Marcus were kind of on another. They were just on another place that was unachievable. So I think maybe Dorian and Junior. Yeah, I feel like it's supposed to be game, like where your game is having no game, and that becomes your game. I think maybe Junior had that because his game was pitiful. I don't know
he had the oblivious game.
Yeah, the oblivious one. Because I remember in season 3 when they went to the club, and he was failing all across the place. Very useless human being.
Even on the double date, when we did the double date.
Let me know how you really feel, Leon.
No, not just Junior.
Useless.
And didn't he fall asleep on a date?
Yeah.
Was that my day?
Yeah, that was with your.
Oh yeah.
The itis.
You had the itis on Fufu, yeah.
Reckless.
Remi, have you ever dashed coins in someone's face in real life? I like the way they call you by your character's name.
I absolutely have never ever done that. I would never do that. But yeah, no, that was a funny moment. That was definitely one of my favourite moments. I can't even remember. Was that actually in the script?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It was funny. I was just thinking, I couldn't remember whether I actually just did it or it was actually the script, but yeah.
Yeah, we got multiple takes of that. We're gonna do like a super blooper reel soon, and yeah, you're gonna see loads of stuff like that.
That'll be funny.
I'm not gonna be in it.
Here we go.
One take home.
Oh yeah, one take.
Comes to flex.
Were there any plans to do a crossover episode with another web series?
We
The
did.
house party had the
We did a bit,
Venus domain exchange. So yeah, that was kind of what it was like. Babby, the creator of Venus vs Mars, reached out to me and said, "Would there be any way?" And then said, "We got a house party coming up. It would be good to have that." So we had that little moment where Junior's character Jermaine saw Venus, and yeah, that was kind of it. I mean, yeah, I was gonna say further down the line, but obviously Venus vs Mars is stopped now. But yeah, that was good though, man. It was good to have a character from another web series in there, just to have that little reference. It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tisha was great as well, man. Yeah, she has a really funny blooper with David. When Marcus's character is moving to her, you have to like come up with all of these lines to get her, and like the words you're coming up with is hilarious. I wish I could remember it, but the words you're coming up with, the one-liners you're coming up with is hilarious, and you guys had to keep them doing retakes. It was good.
I think I was just riffing fake brands or fashion slogans that were non-existent and just trying to impress her with.
What's that one brand that you've said in multiple episodes? What was it?
I can't remember, but yeah,
You guys
I'd be like,
remember the brand
No.
I can't remember the name, but yeah, and then I'd be like, yeah, I'm interning there, innit? Like, it's all good, it's all good, it's all good. I'm interning there, and it's non-existent. Like, it's.
Marcus' character is so funny, man. So you have so many funny moments in the show.
I think just a random one. TJ Travis was one of the actors that, in terms of bloopers, like some of his lines he would come out with, especially towards Marcus sometimes, like "Yes, John B." Like,
oh snap, yeah.
I could pretty much hold my face, we got used to each other, but whenever Travis is around, I was like, I'm gonna lose it today, man, because I can't. He's gonna get me. He's gonna get me.
I mean, you do have that John B vibe, don't you? It's just
I guess so. I don't know. What is John B doing now anyway? What's he saying?
He's always here for Valentine's Day.
I know.
Yeah.
Bring out the levers.
Oh, two in that. Yeah. If you guys kind of, I guess, had to not necessarily rewrite your characters, but what would be something new or different that you'd add to your characters over the course of the season?
That Simone has a stable man. I had to get it every series. Nearly got it, didn't quite get it. So that would be fun, Black love, seeing all that love.
Yeah, in reference to that black love, I would have loved to see Junior and Remi actually like go out for a while, like actually see them in nice steady relationship before Miss, comes in the picture. But yeah, it would have been nice to see that kind of like black love and to see like Remi and Junior actually, go the distance. That would have been nice.
I agree. Yeah, that would have been nice to see what it would look like for their relationship to actually be stable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't have enough game with that, Junior. Come on now. Come on now.
It's true. It's true. She's not lying.
Wow.
She's not lying.
She's not lying.
She's not. Junior, man, you just fumbled them every time. Every time we're just cool and fumble. Ah.
Beth, what about you? You finally found. You finally got your love. Was there anything else you would change?
I would like to see Dorian fail more. Like when I see
even more.
Yeah, I would love to see his demise because he was kind of in the middle. He would get it sometimes, and it was like we kind of knew that he was gonna get it together-ish towards the end, but falter. But I'd love to see it if he just kind of just went down a deep hole and he just
because I don't think they made it. I don't think they're together now. I don't think I don't think they made it. I think it's all that pressure of like, will they, won't they get together? And then when you finally get together and then I don't know if it would have worked.
I agree.
Sarah's friend.
That's
The
the movie.
writer's like, that's not what I had, but I guess.
The movie.
I can't say what yeah, anyway, I'm not gonna say nothing.
Season 4, yeah? Season 4.
Yes, I'm not gonna tell you what I had planned, but yeah. It's funny because well, your answers have made me laugh because like all of you who have faltered don't want to fault. All of you who haven't faltered, you want to falter.
Yeah.
Just swap people with each other's lives. What about who hasn't answered? Z, what would you have liked to have seen with Naya? What we first saw of her, or did you think everything that was presented was perfect?
I mean, I really liked her. Maybe a little bit more about her, if you get what I mean. Maybe like her friendship circle. That would have been funny to see.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like, I don't know, like maybe her relationship with even her parents and what that's like. So maybe you can just get a bit of better knowledge of her. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I think it would have been good if she came back just to haunt Marcus.
Coming back
Marcus.
Marcus, like, why has everyone got revenge with Marcus?
Yeah, but it's like all the girls that you choose seem to kind of just want to fuck you up. Like, didn't one give you laxatives and made you like have diarrhea all night?
That was the same one that tied him up.
Wow.
Was it? Yeah.
These guys had a madness.
She did that first.
Mad.
Wow.
One thing.
Leon,
Marcus really did have the least game in a way. Kind of did.
Go on, Naz, what were you going to say?
I think there's a question in the chat, I believe. It says, if the first series of Brothers Who Know Game was starting in 2020, what would be the major difference in terms of characters and storylines? Have we answered that?
I guess we're kind of talking about it. Something that I was going to say, though, I would have, because in my character biog, I was supposed to be like a youth worker. I was supposed to work with like young people. So I think I would have loved to have seen Simone in her environment with young people, especially what's going on now. I think that would have been, I would have liked to have seen that.
Oh, good, yeah.
And then Issa Rae stole it for Insecure.
I was gonna say it sounds like Insecure.
Shots fired.
She saw the
I'm
problem.
the only person that hasn't watched Insecure yet.
I actually
Wow.
watched it.
Me as well, bro. Me as well.
Oh, you lot might have to get kicked out, man. What's going on here?
Up until last month, I hadn't watched it either, and I couldn't believe I hadn't. But I binge watched it, and it was really, really good. I enjoyed it.
Great.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's just,
and then
it's just real.
So
real.
And there needs to be more of it. It doesn't it shouldn't just be the one that's out there. It needs that. And, you know, yes, BBC are putting out 100 mil and all these other networks are trying to get black content. And I'm looking forward to the next couple of years to seeing exactly what they do with that money and how they invest it and making sure that we're just telling stories of black lives that are just normal and not focused on bullshit.
Exactly.
So
yes, Natalie.
Speaking on representation, and I will answer that question properly later, by the way, the 2021. I think one thing that was really quite heartwarming for me as a creator was that when we first dropped the first episode of Brothers Who Know Game, people weren't just kind of like happy just to see an entertaining show. They're really happy to see themselves represented. And one thing especially like that was, we were getting messages in our droves was representation of black women, especially. How important, I mean, I'm not trying to big up the show, but how important was the show in terms of like black representation for the black women in our cast and also just black across the board? Like, how important was it for you?
Can I say, it wasn't just black women. You chose dark-skinned black women. And that's a huge thing. I don't think you understand. That's huge, especially back then, because it wasn't ever seen. I never saw, apart from Gloria on Desmond's, I never saw a dark-skinned black woman take a lead in the UK for anything. So that for me was like, shit, okay, we've got something going on here. And I think that's what was so important.
Sorry? Was that deliberate?
Yeah, well, I mean, for us, it's weird because like we never kind of shouted to the rooftops that, you know, this show is black and we have to have black women, because it was normal to us. We're around three-dimensional black women every single day, whether it be our family, friends, girlfriends, colleagues, yes, click all of that. but it was very, very normal. So we didn't feel like we needed to like announce it. Do you know what I mean? So yes, it was deliberate, but it wasn't deliberate in terms of this person must be black. We thought it was going to happen anyway. So when it did come, obviously having people who come to audition, we kind of had to gear towards making sure that there was more representation of us as possible, because we did have people of all races, which was fine because it was an open casting. But it was very important to us to have like that friendship circle and have love interests that had all different hues, but making sure that black women were at the forefront as well. So yeah, it's just strange to me, like the conversation that we're having, like fast forwarding now, because it's so normal to us. Like it wasn't by a random design. It was like, this is what we do every single day. Like I wish the conversation was more about how dope the show is, as opposed to I don't mean just our show, I just mean in general, like how dope shows, as opposed to, oh my God, this person is black. This is like, should be normal now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just kind of like crazy to see how much messages we got, like even just thanking us for this, and I was like, this is normal. Like I didn't realize how bad it was until those messages came through.
And I like how you protected that, because I know that when we were looking at trying to shop it to like different networks and stuff like that, some of the feedback was like, oh, it's really, really good, but I think we need to lighten up the cast. I think we need to change like certain characters to basically make them white.
Yeah, we've been through a lot of that, and you know, we didn't compromise on any of that. You know, we had conversations with people saying, you know, yeah, like you said, there's too many brothers in it, and it should be taken down a notch a little bit. And we just didn't agree at all, and we were happy to lose the money or lose the opportunity just to make sure that we showcased ourselves properly. And you know, I'd like to think that we did make the right decision.
That's a good question.
Absolutely, man. That's real.
In 2020, a lot of those meetings that you had, do you think if you had them now today, that they go completely a different way?
As in
July right now.
Yeah, right now.
Right now, 100%. They wouldn't even dare. They wouldn't even dare. And it's annoying because, you know, people always say the show is before its time and stuff like that. But I think the show, ultimately, it did come at the right time.
Yeah.
You know what though? The thing is, the show's not necessarily before its time, because the show was a real catalyst for the stuff that we're seeing in recent years. Do you see what I'm saying? Like the web series movement, that's like a real proactive way for black actors to make work for themselves. Do you know what I mean? That kick-started a whole new era for actors just getting online and making work for themselves. Because otherwise, people were just sitting there chasing their agents and banging down and complaining. Whereas this was like, it's proactive. And then pure web series came afterwards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They didn't necessarily all have impact, but work was out there. People were able to push their careers forward. So it was a great catalyst for a movement.
And what was their reasoning for saying, oh, we want to, you know, have
the very cliched ones about, will this appeal to a family in Mansfield? I actually heard that particular sentence in a meeting with a massive
Mansfield, you know.
And I was thinking, first of all, it's not a family show, so it doesn't really matter if it appeals to a family. But yeah, it was just every cliche under the sun we heard, and it was always about that. It's like the audience. Will the audience resonate with it? Will it have the views and stuff like that?
But is there some truth in that? Like, would they resonate?
I think there's elements of truth in certain parts of the UK, and there's elements in truth in terms of like examples of shows that didn't have massive viewership. However, none of those shows were our show. And I'm not saying that in terms of like our show. I mean in terms of like what we were talking about in our show and what we were presenting. And also, I've gone off for a second. What was I going to say? I nearly had it in my head.
This trap of like, will Middle England get it? Is how they just basically shut people down. It's literally a response like All Lives Matter. Like it's not based on anything. It's like they do it to us comedians as well. Well, they find it funny, but you know, you look at the like black entertainment worldwide. It's always big business. It's always big money. Absolutely. So there's nothing to justify the fact that, oh, this little country town won't get it. Yes, they will, bruv.
And also, I don't get every comedian that, you know, big comedian that's out there either. I don't resonate with every TV show that's on TV either, but I still have to sit there and flick through it. Do you know what I mean? So what's wrong with having a bit of variety, you know? Like, why not, if someone doesn't get it initially, maybe introduce them to a world that they might fall in love with, you know? But
I think even if Mansfield are not watching it, I do think there are enough like Black people who want to see representation like in England, their representation, like real life, not like we're on the streets, we're doing this, we're doing that, like this is just how we live our lives and this is what we want to see. I think like even if Harry in Lincoln doesn't understand that, I think there are enough people in the rest of the UK that do.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say Lincoln because I went to university there, and I remember that after 3 years, one of my white colleagues said, this is going to sound racist, but I'm so glad I met you, because before I met you at university, I just thought Black people did drugs, beat up people, stab people, and I've spent 3 years with you, and you're nothing like that, and you don't do that. So actually, they need to see more programs like this to know, oh, Black people don't just do that. They do a whole bunch of other things, and they're funny, and they have problems with girls too, and they're strong too. And do you know what I mean? Like representation is so important. And I've had so many women come up to me and be like, my son says I'm just like you. Oh my gosh, when you said that, I was like, I say that. Like so many people have said, you are like, your character is like me. That's me. And that makes me feel humbled, because I'm just like, not only are you enjoying the show, but you see yourself and you're happy that you're seeing yourself and that you're being represented right. So I think that's a big props to you guys and us lot for being able to do that, because not many people can say that, or if they can, it's something, you know, sad or dramatic that's happened in their life, whereas we're just, you know, just going through life, just literally just going through normal life, and people are like, yeah, I go through that, I've been there, not gotten that job, I've got that promotion, that person's, you know, I never got that girl, all that sorts of things. And I think it's so important to have that. And quickly, because I know we're going to move on, I want to say thank you to Leon and the Brothers No Game team, because you could have sold the show. You could have had 3 white guys and a black guy. You could have done all of that, but you stuck with it. And the gap from season 2 to season 3 was so long, because you also said, as actors and as people that we work with, I want to pay you. So I'm not doing this show unless you lot are getting paid, and I'm getting you starring it. And you could have easily just got a bag of money and said, guys, we're going to write something else. It's been great. Well done. Cool. And you didn't. And that takes guts, because I know, and I'm not to say that anyone that does that is a sellout. Whatever your conscience is, you do it. It's for you. But you could have easily done that and you didn't. So thank you, because not many people did.
Also, I just wanted to say as well that, on just touching on that subject, I think it is what Travis was saying, it's just a cop-out, because beyond everything, like, white people experience dating problems, so the stories are actually, it's a universal story. It's got nothing to do, like, it is obviously to do with colour, but it's not like, oh, we grew up, do you understand what I'm saying? The stories appeal to everybody, everyone can relate to it. Like,
universal.
Exactly, like, I watch Friends, I don't have a group of 5 white friends that I closely know, but I can watch Friends and I can be like, oh my god, Ross and Rachel is me and a guy that I've loved, or do you go understand what I'm saying? It's got nothing to, some storylines actually have nothing to do with colour. There might be little bits of culture in there, but really by and large it's not a colour specific story. So that's when you just know you're just chatting BS, really.
Facts.
And I'm glad you guys are getting recognised for that as well. Like, you're recognised for, like, because I know Screen Nation is honouring you guys as well with regards to kind of the contribution that you've made to the industry along those lines. So I'm glad that, you know, people are seeing, you know, I know that everybody knew, but I'm glad that you're getting, you know, recognised for that as well, because it's important that you are.
I appreciate it, guys. Sorry, the one I was missing, was the thinking in my head was marketing. I was saying they need to learn how to market our shows as well. That's another part of it.
Oh,
100%.
That's another.
Which is why you need diversity in teams and organisations who get it. You know? That's why.
We've got quite a lot of questions there.
Yeah, I'm just about to go to them now. All right, so if Brothers of No Game could be on any channel or platform, what channel do you think it should be on?
Netflix.
Okay. Yeah. In 2020, I feel like Netflix is part.
Or HBO, you know.
I was gonna say HBO.
Yeah, that's true.
Shout.
I was gonna say HBO.
HBO.
I love how excited Isaac is, you
know. Yeah, I think like Brothers of No Game is an international show. Like, I've never seen it as a localized or national program. I think, you know, there's fans worldwide. You guys spoke earlier about how many people from different parts of the world have stopped you because of the show. And we've always had a big international following from the beginning. So it would have to be on a platform that everybody could see it on. Then
Yeah.
Netflix is obviously one of them. HBO/HBO Max would be another one. Within the UK, it will still be Netflix. In terms of terrestrial, I mean, it could be Channel 4. Looks like it could even be BBC now because of Michaela's show, which is brilliant as well. So
But that's HBO as well.
Yeah, it's HBO and BBC.
So yeah, I could see it on, but yeah, I think Netflix is probably like the one that everyone said. Faux show. I understand that everyone's career has taken them on different paths. Sorry. Wait, what? Oh, there we go. But has there been or will there be any instances where you guys work on future projects? Oh, as in work with each other?
Season 4.
Just season 4?
I think she means outside of season 4, because Brothers in Our Game as a series is a given, isn't it? We're going to work together. Yes, I want to work with every single one of these people, to be fair. I've had the fortunate opportunity to work with Ashley a couple times outside of Brothers in Our Game, and Dani as well. So yes, once the right project comes through and I've got £1 billion or million or 3,000, I would love to. Like,
well, I would love to be in a
Bezos.
show with any of you ladies and not be up against you. Like, it not just be like the role for one of us. Do you know what I mean? Because I find that we're all going up for that same one role. It would actually be nice to be like, oh, well, I've gone up for, I don't know, I'm using terrible names, Sarah, Susan, whatever. I'm going up for them. Like, oh, I'm going up for Katie, cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, rather than like, oh, I'm going up for Ebony. Oh, I'm going up for Ebony too. Okay, cool.
It's true, because I think we've seen each other at a couple of auditions.
Yeah, or I've seen your Insta and be like, oh, she was there before I got there. Okay, cool. Well, you know, one of us gets there, hopefully. Do you know what I mean?
It's a small
I always see you and David at
black world. It's a small black world. So, you know, we are probably going to work together at some point. I know Solomon and I did a table read the other day for like a pilot script that could be commissioned. Zeze, are you even acting, or are you off that and just doing what you're doing?
Oprah.
I do. I don't know yet, if I'm being honest with you. I'm kind of. I did, again, it's the same thing. I did the reading for someone the other day, and it was just a bit like, oh, do I really want to do this? Do I not want to do this? But in a weird way, I think because of what I do with Zeze Millz stuff, I think there's like a strong possibility that, you know, it might come like full circle, just because of the way the world works now. And in a weird way, like, people now want people in their stuff to have followings and all that kind of stuff, because it helps with marketing and it helps you're reaching more people, and they know you've got people that invest in you and ready. So it's like, oh, she's going to be in this, so I'm going to watch it because I like her. Do you get what I mean? So yeah,
You wouldn't say no.
Oh, I would, no, not for Brothers with No Game. I'd be like, hi, I'm back.
You've got your platform now for a lead role.
I enjoyed Brothers with No Game. Like, it was such a good experience for me. Do you get what I mean? And Brothers with No Game came at a time when I was kind of like in that weird space where you're like, oh, I really want to do acting, but nothing's happening at the moment, and you're going for like all these auditions for television stuff, and that's not happening, and it's just weird. And then I can't even remember how I saw the ad, but I just thought, okay, I'm gonna try it and see what happens. And yeah, but it came at a really nice time for me when I was kind of like thinking, do I want to do acting still? Do I not want to do acting still? But I will always be an actress for Brothers with No Game.
Wow, thank you. Who was the music supervisor for the series? The soundtrack was A1. Thank you. I don't want to guess myself, but you know.
Leon. Oh, God, no.
Leon.
Come on, Leon.
You know, it's very important to me to make sure we've got a mixture of like localized talent, so to speak, UK talent, and international as well. And I'm a big, you know, R&B hip hop head and neo soul head, And yeah, it just made sense to kind of put those sounds into web series. And it's interesting because we're seeing so many great shows now that kind of have that feel with the Insecures and Atlantis and stuff. But I feel like web series were the ones who first really started that. No, I'm not saying we were the first, but I mean just that era with Brothers in Our Game, and I don't know if anybody ever watched series on Black and Sexy TV. Their music selection was dope. So I just think like that era really pushed it forward for us, and we were able to actually put the songs within the show as opposed to it be just a soundtrack. How do you feel about having to explain why it is or should be how it is, as opposed to discussing and having achievements acknowledged? How would you answer a question now about the show? I need to read that again. How do you feel about having to explain why it is or should be how it is, as opposed to discussing and having achievements acknowledged? Oh, okay. I get tired. I'm sure we all get tired of talking about representation and being given opportunities. It's very, very tiring. And in 2020, this is the first time I've really had to talk about it, because now I go into rooms and it's a case of this is the show, this is what we're doing. You don't want that? Okay, cool. There's no point explaining anymore. But I feel like because of what's been happening over the last month and or maybe last 2 months, we're being listened to much more. And I'm not one of those people who is too upset by the fact that I know it's based on guilt. Because now we're being afforded that opportunity. Let's take advantage of it and showcase what we're really about. If we're being given the opportunities, let's take it, because anybody else would. Yeah. How do you guys feel about that as actors, not even just in the show? How do you guys feel about?
I'm taking whatever opportunity comes from all of this. It'd be weird not to. And I think there's definitely a shift. I work in a huge corporate world as my side job when I'm not acting, and there's a lot of talk going on there. So if there's talk going on there, I know there's talk going on everywhere. And I'm going to make sure that these places are being held accountable for their black square that they put up. And I'm going to make sure that there's going to be change. I'm not going silent on this. And I think I'm going to take every opportunity to pursue acting and to get into the right rooms and use it as much, because everyone else has had a 400-year start, and so we're only now trying to get some sort of level pegging. So we have to just take it so that we can make a difference and make a change.
Exactly, Natalie. I agree as well, man.
Yeah.
Said it perfectly.
I think it's weird when people are like, well, sorry, I just want to be given the job because I'm really good. It's like, okay, brilliant. That's great for you. But I don't mind if I'm given the job just because I'm black. And then I'll prove to you that I'm great after. I don't need you to like, I said this the other day on something that I did, you know, I think there has to be a lot of deliberate casting done now, which a lot of conscious casting, as they like to call it. And I think there's nothing wrong with that, because like you said, for years, the white girl's been getting jobs just because she's white. Like, she might not even be the right part for the job, but she appeals to the masses, like we was talking about earlier. So if you want to give me a job just because I'm black, then that's great. I'm all for that. And do you know what? I'm also tired of, I want to live like a mediocre black life and get really far still. Do you get what I mean? Like, I don't want to have to be like excellent all the time. It's very draining being like black excellence every time, like, oh yeah, we're great. And it's like, I'm quite happy just to be mediocre and get really, really far in life, because everyone else does it. So why can't we? Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of vibe that I'm on right now. It's like, why not?
You know what? Like, that's a valid point. That's a valid point. I feel like mediocrity is reserved for white talent in a lot of cases. Like, you can't be mediocre and black. Like, you either have to be absolutely outstanding for you to have a chance, or there's nothing there for you. But, you know, just to respond to the previous point, it's quite frustrating. Like, I do understand the whole thing. It's like, you know, well, I accept it because I'm black, cool. But there's also that frustrating element where it's like, you've been good enough this whole time. Like, you know, in the UK, like on the stand-up circuit, comedy circuit, like, we don't get opportunities like that unless you are a superstar. You see Mo is flourishing. Do you know what I mean? Mo has been killing the circuit for years, but there's a whole circuit of people that don't get any look-ins. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, sometimes you get the handout and it's like, bro, I've been better than you this whole time. Do you know what I mean? And now it's like, bro, I'm being given this this little biscuit. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's a frustrated element. So I do understand the backlash when people are like, right, I do want to be given what I deserve, as opposed to me getting the, you know, you trying to find your equality.
Absolutely. June, hi June, and we've already answered that question, our favorite moments in the show. However, I don't know if you're from the UK or not. Actually, even if you're not from the UK, it doesn't matter. A lot of these guys have already kind of recorded a video segment of their favorite moments, and it's going to be showcasing on Trace's Instagram page over the next 3 or 4 weeks. But I'll send you a message to let you know exactly how you can find out about their favorite moments of the show. Speaking about Black and Sexy TV, would you consider doing an international crossover with that guy if possible? I'll quickly answer this, guys. We were doing a crossover with Black and Sexy TV already for a show about 3 years ago. That had to be put on hold, but that can't happen, and I can't say anything about that because it's legal reasons on their side. But yeah, that one can't happen.
No, I want to know.
Well, I'll pull you guys off the air. But to Zeze's point, do you think what's going on there? Oh, to Zeze's point, do you think we should go as far affirmative action like they have in the US? Affirmative action, oh.
Yeah, so that was deliberate casting and deliberate job roles that were given to people just because they were Black. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
that's the only way we're going to get to some of these places.
Yeah.
Because they have to put us there, and then once we're there, we are the ones that will bring people up. I will more than happy be that token person, so then I can get a role that I can bring other people up in. Absolutely.
I think that's the only way that there's going to be any sort of change. You just have to make an active effort to do it. And I think, just touching on what Dani was saying earlier about being the one person, and I think if there's more of us, then there won't be this weird type of, I don't know what the energy is, but I think also us as like actresses and actors, we know that there's only like one space for us. Do you know what I mean? Or in the entertainment world, we know there's only one spot. It's like what Travis was saying about Mo. It's like, why can't there be like 5 comedians or even more in Mo's position? But in this world, in this entertainment world, it's like only one of us can be in there at a time. Then when Mo decides that maybe he doesn't want to do it, or he, naturally someone else comes up, then it's another one, and then we've got to wait for another one. But why can't there be just like loads of us there at the same time? Do you get what I mean? So
we have to think like that. Like, we have to actively think about things like that. White people don't have to. Like, white people don't take into consideration the fact that, there's a blonde girl here and there's also this other blonde girl here, so I might not be able to get the job because many blonde girls can be cast. Like, I think it's ridiculous that as a person, as a Black person, like, you have to think about those things. Do you know what I mean? Like, Issa Rae's doing her thing over in America. Like, who else now? Like, is it one person? Michaela Cole's got her thing going on. Like, so does that mean that no one else can go up and do a series and like be as big as her?
And yet, how many CSIs are there? How many NCISs are there? How much was Friends and How I Met Your Mother basically the same show? You got Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, Chicago PD. Like, they're telling the same exact story, just in different ways. So why can't we do that as well? Why can't there be 4 shows about Black men doing different things? It frustrates me so much. And so if it means that I'm going to take you on because we need to have some content, then that's fine. Do it. Do the content. We're in a digital world, so we should be swimming in content right now.
Yeah.
Talk to him. Yeah, I do think in terms of our representation, there's been an improvement. I will say that I could name I'm not saying it's enough, but I can name in the last like 18 months, I can name 10 shows. And that's more than I've ever witnessed since I've been born. Do you know what I mean? That have
UK or American?
UK. And that's why it goes back to my point about marketing. Because we talk about the shows that have come out, Time Wasters, In the Long Run, Bulletproof, Price, Chewing Gum, I May Destroy You, Undercover. We'll count the Mo Gilligan and the Big Nasty shows. Max that's about to come out, Trigonometry. So there are bits, but it's just the marketing.
And there's a lot of men in those examples.
Oh yeah, that also 100%.
Yeah, but even like Michaela Cole's I May Destroy You, to me, it was just suddenly there. There wasn't this whole major build-up. I didn't see
for real.
publications on Insta posts, but on actual BBC, I did not see it probably until a week before. And I'm just like, you lot know this has been in the works for the longest time. Why? And to me, I just feel, are you setting us up to fail? Because I know if there's loads of things, there is months in the making that you'll hear about something, you'll get a glimpse of something, there'll be a teaser. We just don't.
TV guide, mag interview, and all that kind of
promo
stuff.
interviews everywhere.
Even if you compare like Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Michaela Cole, like their trajectory is quite similar. But how much hype has Phoebe Waller-Bridge had versus how much hype Michaela Cole's had? Do you see what I mean? Like, and which one is better? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm not.
I hear you saying. It definitely, like Leon said, has to do with the marketing. When I sat down with Kaede, who does Enterprise, and I kind of said to him, like, oh, I've noticed that you're doing a lot of like black press run at the moment. Like, why is that? Because no one wanted to watch the first one. Was there not enough black people watching the first one? And his thing was like what Leon said, is that the marketing team just didn't know how to reach the people that he would want to watch the show. So then he decided, I have to take this into my own hands and kind of set up my own press run with, like outlets that I know, people that I want to watch these. Do you get what I mean? These different shows. And I think, like I work in theatre. That's my doorbell. I work in theatre, and I worked on Barbershop Chronicles when it came to the Roundhouse and on the marketing team. And I was the only black person in the room. So you've got all these like big boy producers, and they don't know, they're coming up with ideas how to target us. So it's like, and that's because there's no one of like black in the room to say, actually, no, this is not going to work, or that, I wouldn't do that if I was you, because I wouldn't even use that word if I was you, because it might be a bit, maybe stay away from that word. And like we were saying, I just think there needs to be more people in the room, young people as well, that are up to date with what's going on. Like the world is changing so much, like we keep saying, social media and all that kind of stuff. And yeah,
I can agree.
They need to give money to us. I think we've marketed our show quite well, We're in like over 80 countries worldwide.
Oh,
man. That's big.
Yeah, that is big.
It's real big.
We
know
don't
that every time I meet people, we're in over 80 countries. Yeah, that's one.
Say that again? Yeah, that's your new thing. I just say like I'm seen in 80 countries worldwide. I'm dubbed.
That's my bio on Insta.
Basically. All right, so a quick fun one. Who was your favorite director to work with, me or Paul?
You.
Don't say it because I'm in the room.
No, I'll take you any day.
Why?
No offense to Paul.
I just got trauma, boy.
No patience.
Zero
like,
patience.
What done? Like he's got no patience. I love Paul, but my God, no patience. No patience.
David Zephryn, why me? No, I'm joking. Who's your you choosing?
I said, why me?
You brought different qualities to the table, man. Like you brought an energy that was what's the word?
Laissez-faire.
No, there was more sensibility to it. Whereas Paul is meticulous.
I was gonna say that.
So I think the two of you together work really well. So there's no preference, but also having one or the other in solitude, then you miss the other. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So you both.
Complements each other.
what was?
Yeah, exactly what Zephryn said. That was
That's fair. All right. Next question for you guys. This one was emailed to me, so taking it from there. Okay, fair. Were you guys surprised by how much people watched in the US? So there were more people that watched Brothers in No Game in America than in the UK when it got to season 2.
Yeah.
I'm
Were
not
you
surprised.
surprised?
Why would you be
I'm
surprised?
surprised, but not surprised.
was right.
It's similar to the Top Boy thing, innit? In the US, they really want to know how black people move in the UK.
Yeah.
They just genuinely do. So when something like Brothers with No Game or Top Boy comes out, they're like, okay, we want to see how do these people move. Okay, they just like us. Cool.
Mm.
And I love how they would ask questions in the comments sometimes, like,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
what's Nando's? Or like they would ask like really like specific questions about the UK, and so it must have been quite funny for them to kind of pick up on like the culture of like black British culture and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like Peckham, Heskey, and Nando's were like the 3 most Googled things.
Yeah, so true, so true.
So what are you guys doing? I mean, obviously, I'm not. Well, I see you guys every now and again, but for the fans at home, what have you lot been doing since season 3? So like we shot season 3, we finished shooting season 3 in 2017. So what have you guys been up to in your own individual lives as creatives and so on and so forth?
Yeah, David, what have you been up to?
Yeah, that's what David's been up to. We see him on the TV all the fucking time.
No, yeah, like acting's going very well. But I'm very excited about being a producer with my girlfriend at her production company, and we've got a short film out at the moment called Greasy Spoon, and it's about gentrification, and it's a sci-fi comedy, and yeah, so more producing and supporting her. She writes, directs. Joelle May David, shout out. Yeah, and just like taking a bit of control of our destinies, and just kind of using inspiration from yourself, Leon, and the brothers, and taking matters in your own hands and putting content out there that is not there, and you're going to put it out there, tackle subjects that are not being told, and then I hope that acting can go hand in hand with that, and just collaborate with people I like and stuff. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Just a quick one, like how was it working on Gangs of London? Because I love that show. It was dope.
Gangs of London, wicked, man. I knew Gareth and the Raid, so when that show was like coming out and there was hype about it, I was like, I have to be in this, like, because I auditioned for the main role. I think like similar to what we're talking about, you go up for so many roles, and just getting the part I did, I was gassed to do it, and it was very cool. Like everyone, all the directors and producers on it were like fans of the genre. So the details of the martial arts, the details with like making London a character as well, the streets, the feel, it made it good. It made it not generic and stuff. So yeah, loved Gangs of London.
Yeah, I auditioned for that.
Want to bring anyone in, David, with you anytime on season 2? You just let us know.
Yeah, you know.
Well, I'm not going in season 2. Obviously, if you saw, like, my character.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, don't ruin it for people.
I'm back as a ghost.
yeah. But it was really good, and everyone on it was dope. Shoppe was dope, and Papa was dope. Everyone was very good, and just delivered, man. And I felt like, I'm glad I could have a little bit in it. So yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Who's next? What have you guys been up to? 3 years, man.
I have been writing as well. I have been in another successful web series called Dreaming Whilst Black.
Yes.
And that did really well. That was the most successful web series in the world last year. So
wow.
Growing up.
Jeez.
So there's talks with people at the moment. So we'll see what they say. And then I've set up 2 production companies as well. Something that I've always wanted to do, but I thought I was going to do it until way down the line. But weirdly enough, during quarantine times, it's just so happened that this has been the perfect time to bring those to light. And with one of the production companies, it's basically what I do behind the screen. So voiceovers, writing, and acting coaching, which will start in September. And then I have another production company called Each One Teach Many. And we're producing 3 short films, one on racial profiling, one on domestic violence, and one on the law of joint enterprise.
Wicked, man.
Love that.
Wicked.
I have been trying to keep busy. Obviously, I wasn't in season 3 because I was having a child. But so I've been in a couple of TV shows on Netflix. So I've been in, gosh, I got to remember, Turn Up Charlie, which was great. I got to kind of work with Idris Elba, which was amazing. And I'm in a new show. I'm in 6 episodes of a new show coming out on Netflix called Cursed, which is like a epic sort of reimagining of Merlin, Sword and Stone. I've got deer antlers, like it's total like full-on fantasy vibe. So it's something completely different to anything I've ever done, and yeah, it's great. It was good fun. So I'm hoping that comes out and does well.
Go. Who's next?
Yeah, I'll go. So yeah, like since the show, I've really been focusing on stand-up. And last year I debuted my show at the Edinburgh Festival. Off the back of that, I was invited to do a West End show, or take my show to the West End, basically Soho Theatre. That would have happened had quarantine and the coronavirus not hit, but it is what it is. Last year I supported Dave Chappelle on tour.
Wow.
Woo!
Yeah, so yeah, things are really happening. So I'm quite excited to just come out of lockdown and some new opportunities. So yeah, man.
That's amazing.
Go. Who's next? Go ahead. Who's next?
Natalie, go.
Okay, so I am writing some stuff actually with some people in America, which is quite exciting. And it's based on 3 Black girls from England moving to America. And we've got some meetings literally coming up next week. So, and Leon, I need to speak to you about some other things as well. Just so I remember. I am part of the Dope Black Mums Collective. So we are a collective of mothers. I do the podcast with them. We've been signed by CAA to kind of do some development stuff as well. But it's all about being a dope Black mum and making motherhood diverse, because for a very long time it really wasn't. You had internet and you had stuff like Net Mums and Mums Net, which are literally for white mothers, and so I'm just making sure that motherhood is as diverse as possible, and making sure that it's it's not as scary. It could be dope. It's hard, but it could be good. And yeah, doing some table reads. Like I said, Solomon and I did one this week, which was quite funny and quite interesting to do. It was called Good Sex, and I'm laughing because it was a lot of sex on a Zoom call when we did the table read. So it was fun. And I also work for one of the biggest brands in the world, where the diversity talk has been #1 right now, and there are only 14 Black people that work there. So as you can imagine, they've just discovered how racist they are, and they're trying to change that way. So if you do have ideas, not necessarily theatre stuff, but if you've got like a business or you need to be given wings, then yeah, they're looking for content, and they're looking to invest in Black communities. So, oh yeah, I'm not going to say who they are, but look on my Instagram and you'll see who I work for.
Yeah.
Oh,
we know.
Zephryn,
Yo,
where have you been?
I've been quite busy actually. Yeah, lots of theatre, commercials. Look at Solomon. So who's laughing? Solomon. Yeah, lots of theatre. I'm on BBC now with Call the Midwife.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
On the go after this pandemic. I wrote and directed a short film actually based on joint enterprise. I got commissioned by some lawyers from the Old Bailey and stuff, and the Sheriff's Fund. I'm still doing my community work with Pan Arts. I've branched out now. Well, me and my team have branched out to Birmingham, Ipswich, and London, and we're looking to do some more work with Clarion Housing Association. So there's a big list of things that's popping off, and I'm just trying to dip my toes in like everybody else, man.
Amy, Nemide, what have you been up to?
I've had 3 children, so I've been doing that, and not too much career-wise because they're very close together. So yeah,
You've got 3 under 3, haven't you?
I had when they were born. When my twins were born, I had 3 under 2, and now I have. The twins are 2.5 and the eldest is 4, so I've been doing that. But I think the most important thing that I have been doing is working on my mental health, because you won't know, people won't know this, but I was going through a lot of like mental health issues at the time of filming with Brothers or No Game. So like having my kids and like having to like really work on myself has been my main priority. And just as we went into lockdown, I just had made my like comeback, so we should speak. Like I was about to start a rep theatre season, playing in 3 West End theatres, which was going to be really cool.
Oh man.
Yeah, Corona came, and so that's kind of like, it's not cancelled, but it's been postponed until theatres open. So that's what I've been doing.
You'll be on that stage in Jesus' name.
Soon.
Yeah. Amen.
Soon.
Claim it. Claim it.
Claim it.
It's existence every day.
Isaac, what have you been up to?
You know, just traveling the world, you know.
Sorry,
you know,
boss.
travel. You just find them cheap flights and you're just out of here, you know? Yeah. Besides traveling, just been working with new upcoming people like writers and, you know, just kids that I just want to get their work out there, like online, like short films and stuff. So I have there's a new short film with the fully focused production team on their YouTube channel, and it's called Missed. And I got to play a father who's dealing with his son, who's like grieving the loss of the mum. The mum's, she's died because of a plane crash, so they're kind of like grieving and kind of like, you know, trying to like rebuild. So that was very fun to shoot. I shot that last year. It just came out, so it's online on YouTube. It's called Missed, and again, it's on the fully focused YouTube page. Yeah.
Is that your first time playing a father?
Yeah, that was my first time, man.
How you coping with the transition, bro?
And the young boy was so good to work with, man. He was such a talented young boy, and his name is Lani. He's gonna do amazing things. So watch out for a young Nigerian boy called Lani. He's gonna be killing the scene soon. So that was amazing. So yeah, I've just been working with people who are trying to put their work out there. So, and I'm trying to get into the whole route and become a Leon as well. So I'm trying to get into the whole writing scene. So hopefully you see some of my shorts coming out soon. So stay tuned for that.
Okay. Zeze, what have you been up to?
Basically causing trouble online.
Is that it, yeah?
Just sharing my opinions. That's what I've been up to. Sharing my opinions with everyone and what I think about what goes on in the world when it comes to, especially like, I think people know me for talking about colorism a lot. That was like my thing. That I was passionate about, that I still am passionate about, and about representation and making sure there's a level representation of Black women. Because like we were saying, there's not, especially I think within the UK, like growing up, we could see people like Nia Long and Gabrielle Union, and you know, you can see all that in American films and stuff. So I think that's why I used to watch a lot of American stuff growing up, because I could see more women that looked like myself. So yeah, I mean, it seems to be going okay. The Zeze Millz stuff. Yeah, we'll see what happens with it. I'm always very blasé when I talk about it, because I don't. When I first started it was just.
You're killing it, man.
Basically.
Yeah, you really are.
It was just for me to chat shit, and then it's kind of picked up traction, and
that shit picked up traction.
But yeah, it is. I like talking. I've always loved talking. So yeah.
I asked you before, but I don't think you heard me. Would you, if you got like a lead role in like a let's say a major TV series on a HBO, something that requires all your time, would you give up your current platform to be like a full-time actor on like a day-to-day show, like a huge show?
What I would do is I wouldn't give it up, but I would then start doing seasons of Zeze Millz. So I would do a season and then acting. So because you're not always
right.
You could do both.
Pardon?
You could do both.
Yeah, that's what I think. Why did everyone?
No. The question was more so to find out like how much you love acting.
Oh.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't give up, because initially when I first was born, or when I wanted to do acting. I've always wanted to do acting. That was my thing. But now, as the Zeze Millz brand has grown, I love the Zeze Millz brand because I get to talk about things that I'm passionate about as well. So I wouldn't give up. Like I wouldn't give up either or.
Right.
I would just make it work.
And lastly, Solomon, what have you been up to in these last 3 years?
I seem to just take these long contracts all the time, man. So since the show finished, I did a lot of theatre, but they were like long contracts. So I did the Royal Shakespeare Company again. So I did a season there, which is 3 plays, but it's like a year contract. And then straight after that, I did what Zeze was talking about. I did Barbershop Chronicles. So I went to the US, and that was like half a year. And then I got back, and I've done like sprinkles of TV, like a few episodes of stuff, some good stuff, was funny stuff. And then I broke my ankle, so I was out of the game for a little while, so recovering. But I'm back now, so. And then coronavirus hit. I was filming in Newcastle, like an episode of Doctors, which was fun. And then coronavirus hit, so I think once we're allowed to go back out again, then I'm gonna really try and attack the TV and film.
Is Doctors filming in Newcastle now?
I mean, Birmingham, not Newcastle.
Oh, I was about to say.
Doctors is like the rites of passage for an actor, isn't it? Like everyone's got to get a little one episode of Doctors in.
Rub your hands if you've been in an episode of Doctors.
That's a very good question. I should ask.
Late to the game, boy. But did you have to audition though?
All right.
Hey. Sorry, boss.
All right. So.
What about you, Leon?
Yeah, Leon.
Huh?
What about you? What have you been doing?
I haven't been doing anything. I've just been here, chilled here. What have I been doing the last 3 years? So I have been writing and producing a whole bunch of stuff. I produced a short film called Binge Watching for BBC4 and BFI that came out last year. It's pretty cool, working with a director called Nosa Egbenedion. I wrote and directed and co-produced a short film called Third Act, starring Ashley, alongside Michael Akinselara. Never get the surname right. Michael. His name's Michael, just Michael. Michael Akinselara.
Don't be that guy, Leon. Don't be that guy.
I know. Fellow African as well. It's terrible. Stephanie Levi-John and Gia Ray. I have a project in development. NDAs and that. Can't say too much, but
Sorry.
I'll tell you that off air. And yeah, like the BWG production company, where we're kind of like fully fledged now. We've got our 3 strands. We've got, our content creation, with the Circle, if you guys have checked that out, which is kind of a roundtable series where it's like the BAME version. BAME is not the word I should use. I don't like that word. It's like the Black and Asian version of the Hollywood Reporter Roundtable. And we have the IG Live series as well. There's another situation, can't say it just yet with that, which is great. And yeah, just writing and producing like we all do. So I was saying with the Brothers in Our Game production company, we've got our 3 strands now: content creation, production company where we work with new writers, and also our distribution, being able to distribute our content and other people's content to different platforms. So if anybody has got content and they'd like some money for the content, bring it to me. I'll make you guys some money. And yeah, it's just where we're at now, and just going into all of these rooms and having these funny conversations about representation.
You're killing it. I know you're not alluding to much, but you're doing well. Well done.
Thank you.
Doing very, very well.
It's all NDAs, man. I wish I could say more, but there's some really big things happening for myself and our company, and hopefully like everyone involved as well, and you guys as well. I'll speak to you again off the air. So yeah, with that being said, I believe we have to wrap it up, which is sad. It's gone quite quickly, which is sad. But thank you guys so much.
Good to see everyone.
It was really, really good to see everyone.
Yeah, good seeing everyone.
Once we're all allowed to have haircuts, well, then again, we are allowed. Once the lines have died down, we should all meet up and have a drink and stuff.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
We'll go to the bar and be like, we're part of Brothers in their Game, so you got a drink deal.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, of course.
It's all on Leon and the other guys.
Huh? What?
I'm broke.
It's on Solomon, because clearly Solomon gets all the hookups, so...
It's on David. It's on David.
You're paying for our drinks.